Good morning, everyone. Today we are observing the Salinas Buddhist Temple, June and July, Shotsuki Hoyo, as well as the Lady Kujo Memorial Service. Please join me in Gasho. The Buddha said to Ananda and Vaidehi, the superior groups, superior grade of beings are those who enter and resolve to be born in that land, arouse the three devotional hearts, and are therefore reborn. What are these three? The first is sincerity. The second is deep faith. And the third is dedicating and longing for rebirth. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Now we will continue with the sutra chanting of the Sambujo, followed by the Hyobyakumon, and then the Sambutsuge and Jusei. Namandavs. Today, on this occasion of the Salinas Buddhist Temple, June and July, Shotsuki Hoyo, and Lady Kujo Memorial, the members of the Sangha have reverently come before Amida Buddha, in memory of their beloved family members. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kia Boots, Namo Kia Ho, Namo Kia Soul. 西者不知道，要小教解波，叫弥小摩，谁不教小嘎，一个金少年，就爱修光耀，西个么教导。一小天年西，新的现代高，小么赛道，小教上个庙，赛修呀个难，爱一起眼，西看那汉，说个小啊个道。自大自然修满，说教满足，一要了解破，一起要持续觉给，能够红不见，一修开后手，是苦都苦后，就内修知。三波西西呀一塞么少个学头个汉，南呢是只要慢，头个一上来哟，要不知么言起，是大之米不小，安啊个爱哩。我西塞小山，西安呀个卡，来塞诺干多，我个小天年，我今呀个阿曼达文。阿曼达文，阿曼达文，阿曼达文，阿曼达文，阿曼达文。阿尼西格诺格，亚那塞伊塞，多恩诺阿伊辛，欧鸟。Namanda, Namanda, 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 Samanda, Samanda. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. At this time, I'd like to read the names of families in Salinas who are observing the memorial in the month of June and July. As I read your family name, please go before your Butsudan and burn incense. For Yoshiko Terakawa, for Shoichi Furutani, for Yeizo Ikeda, for Ryan Keith Hirasuna, for Tom Tetsushi Miyanaga, for Catherine Shizuko Matsumune, for Keizo Nishio, for Teruji Yamaguchi, for Shiro Higashi, for Kyoko Katie Royston, for Shinobu Gatanaga, for Yasuji Minami. And for the month of July, for Yonezo Ichikawa, for Toshi Yamashita, for George Yasuo Yaguchi, for Setsuko Iwamoto, for Fred Takamori Sakasagawa, for Etsuo Yamaguchi, for Takuji Jack Oshita, for Shizuko Uchida, for Martha Marty Yamiko Wakayama, for Sachi Kawahira, for Benny Kazuo Wakayama, for Sakato Sachi Tanimura, and for Reverend Jose Shindo and Reverend Shosei Hanayama. If there are families today who are observing Shotsuki for June or July, and whose name we did not call on this list, we invite you to go before your guns and burn incense at this time. And we honor and acknowledge all of those. Thank you. And now I'd like to ask you to join me in the Gatha Shinran Sama, found on page 240 of the large purple service book. threefold refuge. Difficult is it to receive a human form, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Dharma of the Buddha, now we hear it. We do not cross over to the truth in the present life. What life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we together with all sentient beings awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we together with all sentient beings enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we together with all sentient beings become units in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Sankhya-mo, Ninjen Kegatashi, Ima Sudeni Yuku, Buppo Kikigatashi, Ima Sudeni Kiku, Kono mi konjo ni mukate dose zumba, sarani izure no sho ni makataka kono mi o dosen. Daishu morotomo ni shishin ni sambo ni kieshi tate matsuru beshi. Mizukara butsu ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masani nega waku wa shujo to tomo ni daido o taige shite mujo ryoko san. Mizukara ho ni kieshi tate matsuru. Masani naga wakuwa shijo to tomoni kaku kyozo ni irite chie umi no gotoku nuran mizukara so ni kieshi tate matsuru masani naga wakuwa shijo to tomoni daishu wo tori shite sai mugen naran ujo jinjin myo no ho wa hyakusen mango ni mo ayo kotokatashi Orima kenno shi juji suru koto e atari. Nega waku wa yonai no shinjitsu gyoge shitate matsudan. Namandavas, 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 namandavas. Once again, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's memorial for all those names that we read today. Many families observing memorials for their loved ones in the month of June and July. Today, we're also observing a memorial for Lady Takeko Kujo. Some of you may have heard the name before, perhaps some of you have not, but she was born the daughter of the 21st Monshu, Kosong Otan. The Monshu is our leader of our temple in Kyoto, Japan, and he is a direct descendant of Shinran Shonin. And you can find much information about Honganji, the Monshu, and also Lady Kujo on the by Googling, and you'll find out what a remarkable woman she truly was. But I want to talk today more about her devotion to the Nembutsu, her devotion to Namo Amidavutsu. She, taking the advice of her father, who told her to focus on the Nembutsu and thinking of the Buddha at any time during the course of her day and night. And no matter what her passing feelings may be, what her thoughts were, good or bad or neutral, he advised her to perform the Nembutsu. He also advised her to perform acts of loving kindness and to do these without any condition, without any calculation, and without any thought of reward or gain. So throughout her life, she stayed true to his suggestion, reciting the Nembutsu at all times in her life. But also she founded the Buddhist Women's Association to do public service and to foster solidarity among the Buddhist women. She initiated a care package program for Japanese soldiers who were fighting overseas. And she herself went and sent women to help families whose fathers and sons and husbands had been killed in action. Lady Kujo continued to recite the Nembutsu for her entire life. She then went on to found the Kyoto Women's University in the hopes that it would empower women, not only as women, but also as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists. As she continued to spread her father's advice to women throughout Japan. And she founded this university in an era, and in a country where women were discriminated against, where women were restricted on what they could do and what they could say. She created the school based on Buddhist teachings and philosophy of the oneness of all life, and on Amida's vow that accepts every single sentient being. In 1923, when Tokyo was hit with the Great Kanto earthquake, she created various humanitarian efforts, which led to the construction of the present-day Tsukiji Honganji in Tokyo, and also founded Asoka Hospital as a free clinic. All throughout those years, she worked tirelessly in the slums of Tokyo to help the poor, the injured, and the orphans in Tokyo. All the while, not only spreading kindness, but spreading the Nembutsu. And Lady Kujo literally gave her life for these humanitarian efforts. Her death in February of 1928 was a direct result of her work with the ill and the indigent of Tokyo. Lady Kujo's life was one of clarity, with no doubt, with no confusion about what she was doing. And I believe that her acts of loving kindness were a direct manifestation of Amida Buddha. Unconditional acceptance and affirmation of life. Her life was in response to this other power of Amida, and all that she did in her life, and it was filled with the fullness of Amida's boundless light and life. We too today, many years later, are given the opportunity to enact the heart and the mind and the spirit of Amida Buddha's boundless wisdom and compassion. By entrusting our life to Amida Buddha's boundless wisdom and compassion, each moment that we live and give becomes a gift. The act of loving kindness becomes spontaneous as we suspend our ego and live with trust and acceptance. Well, our life is a direct result of people like Lady Kujo and of your family members. And our Shinjin is awakened by Amida's wisdom and compassion as it moves us closer to becoming true participants and supporters of life and the world around us. Acts of loving kindness, they reveal and manifest the indescribable depth and the power of Amida Buddha's boundless wisdom and compassion in our daily lives. So as we remember our family members, as we remember Lady Kujo, let us practice loving kindness and manifest the wisdom and the great compassion of Amida Buddha in our lives. Thank you. Please join me in worship. Shonen chiru no kange no muki wa shinji no motte honto sarare soro sono yue wa moro no sogyo nage stete isshin ni mida ni himyo surebo rashigi no ganriki to shite un no kata yori ojo wa jijo sashime tomo sono kurai yo 一年後期入賞上始終とも釈し、その上の称名年度、愛我が往生を定めたまいし、本法人の年度、心べきなり、 Anakashi ko, Anakashi ko. Shinran Shonin taught that the essence of Jodo Shinshu is Shinju. The reason is that by abandoning all of the practices and completely entrusting ourselves in the Amida Buddha, our spiritual rebirth is assured by Amida through the inconceivable power of the primal God. This is known as entering the ranks of the truly assured at the very moment of Shinju. Thereafter, all utterances of the Nembutsu should be understood only as expressions of gratitude for Amida's assurance of our spiritual rebirth. With reverence, I mean, thank you. Before we close today, I'd like to make a few announcements. There will be no service next Sunday, July 27th, or excuse me, June 27th. And starting in July, after the 4th of July, we'll be observing Hatsubon services that will be in person, live, but also will provide live streaming on that day. So July 11th will be Monterey's Hatsubon, July 18th, Watsonville's, and July 25th, Salinas, Hatsubon. Thank you. Now, if you please join me in the Gatha Ondo-san 2. Please join me in Gasho. It is regrettable indeed that sentient beings doubt what should not be doubted. The Pure Land is right before us and never out of harmony with us. Do not ponder whether Amida will take you in or not. The question is whether or not you only turn about at heart. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone. This will conclude our June-July Shotsuki Hoyo for the Salinas Buddhist Temple.